Why size doesn't matter. Small fighters beating big fighters, Part 2. Following on from our first set of clips, we now have Part 2 of the little guys versus the big guys. As we saw from Part 1, you should never just assume that the little guys will always lose. It is true, very true, that size, strength, and athleticism confer a massive advantage in physical confrontations, and other things like technique, skill level, aggression being equal, the larger fighter will likely, but not certainly, prevail. As we all know, there are exceptions to every rule. In this follow-on video, we are going to take a look at a few more clips showing some of those exceptions. Before we get into our list, remember to give us a thumbs up and a quick click on our subscribe button to get more videos like this one and support Brutal TV. Thanks! But for now, let's look at some of the smaller fighters. In this first clip, it's wrestling against bodybuilding. So that's 73 kilograms against 145 kilograms. Should be nice and easy for the bodybuilder with all that muscle, right? Wrong. This clip really does show that it's more about technique and less about size. Right from the start, this wrestler has got his man down by going for his leg. Once he's down, the smaller guy still has all the control, and in just a few seconds, he has flipped his opponent out of the ring. As they start up again, it's not long before the wrestler is flipping the bodybuilder over his shoulder, getting him into a headlock and flipping him again and again. It's no surprise the wrestler was the outright winner. Fedor has made a career out of proving that the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Pride was no stranger to freak show fights, and this certainly was one of them. Fedor is 6 feet tall. Zulu Zinho is 6'7". Fedor weighs 235 pounds, Zulu weighs 390 pounds. Obviously, no height or weight advantage is going to make up for skills, especially when you're going up against one of the greatest mixed martial arts fighters of all time. Fedor makes the connection with his first punch, and it's all downhill from there for Zulu. The punches just keep coming. He gets to his feet for a matter of seconds, and down he goes again. It's all over for Zulu. Up next, we have Kirill Sudelnikov, Team Russia, against Martin Soltysik, Team France. Both at this time relative novices to the MMA game, Soltysik outweighs Sudelnikov by 35 pounds, seeming to be much more powerful. The bell rings, and straight from the off, Soltysik goes running in on the attack. Sudelnikov tries to slow the pace down by jumping out of his range. Soltysik swings giant looping overhand rights, but Sudelnikov doesn't seem too fazed by this. If you didn't know about Sudelnikov's camp, you would think that he's in way over his head. Soltysik chases after him, but Sudelnikov plays stick and move until firing an overhead that drops Soltysik at 2.25 of round 1. Kirill Sudelnikov walks away with the knockout win. Even the big man couldn't quite believe what had happened. On December 6, 1985 at the Felt Forum in New York, future world heavyweight champion Mike Tyson fought Sammy Scaff in a scheduled 10-round bout. Tyson stopped Scaff in the very first round. Although Scaff had an extra 6 inches in height to Tyson, it really didn't help him much. A left hook from Tyson 17 seconds into the fight backed Scaff into the ropes and caused him to begin bleeding heavily from a badly broken nose. Tyson followed it up with a good overhand right that connected to the jaw. Scaff retreated, circled the ring, and occasionally threw a wild hook. A short left hook sent Scaff back into the ropes and down on his chest at 1:04 seconds. He struggled and got to his feet at the count of 8, but the referee waved an end to the bout. But that wasn't the last we saw of Tyson. The little guy in this clip is Russian mixed martial artist Fedor Emelianenko, fighting against Dutch giant 6'10" Semi Schilt at Pride 21 on June 23, 2002. From the very start of this match, Fedor was determined to get this guy to the canvas and succeeded. Although Schilt avoided a dangerous armbar attempt, Emelianenko pinned him and scored repeated punches and knees to his face until the end of the round. In the second round, Schilt managed to keep the Russian on his guard and minimize the damage of his ground and pound. Emelianenko took over again and ended the fight, punishing the Ashihara Karateka with more punches on the ground. At the end of the match, the little Russian guy was declared the winner, and rightly so. In the world of sumo wrestling, you would be forgiven for thinking that the little guy would never stand a chance. But as we have seen in part 1 of our Why Size Doesn't Matter videos, this is not always the case. In this clip, we have another little and large of the sumo world. We start off with the little man trying his best to keep the big man at bay, with a lot of pushing and shoving. Then the big guy gets control and goes in for a lift. But wait, before you know it, the little guy manages to fling big guy over his shoulder, and to the delight of the audience, big man is down and out. This next clip shows 6'8" Emmanuel Yarbrough fighting against his smallest opponent at 6 foot, Japanese grappler Daiju Takase. The weight difference between these guys is 310 kilograms. Imagine that on top of you. Well, keep watching because at one point that is exactly what happens. The fight starts off pretty slow with no action apart from Takase dancing round the ring, trying to wear Yarbrough out. For this, Takase manages to escape and lands numerous punches to the head and body of his opponent, forcing him to submit. Can you believe the little guy actually won against this amazing giant? In our last clip, we go to UFC 254 in October 2020, and the fight between 6'2" Tai Tuivasa and 6'11" Stefan Struve. From the very start of the fight, it was Tuivasa who was the aggressor. In the short time that the fight lasted, he managed to land a staggering 48 total strikes. The finishing sequence to this fight saw Tuivasa throw Struve to the floor. On his way back up, he was met with a barrage of punches by the relentless New Zealander. Once on his feet, Struve had both hands up covering his face. This opened the door for Tuivasa to land a perfectly placed uppercut. Struve crumbled to the ground as the punch landed. Tuivasa then followed up with an offensive flurry. This was enough for the referee to stop the fight. Little man wins again. So that's it for our video clips. Which was your favorite? Please let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe to Brutal TV for more top fighting videos just like this one. Thanks for watching. See you next time.